Hey everyone. A viewer had a suggestion for a great video. She requested some simple songs for just new vibratos. If you're just getting a handle on vibrato and you're ready to start applying it to some easy songs, I'm going to give you some fabulous songs that won't stress out your vibrato too much. My suggestion for you is when you're doing these songs, first, unless you have an amazing fourth finger, don't require fourth finger to play instead of open strings. If it's comfortable to do an open string, go ahead and do an open string. The reason is I want your hand to stay relaxed and not add that extra layer of difficulty. Some of the fourth fingers in these songs are easy, and on those, if it feels easy, do it. But if it feels like OMG, then play an open string instead. I'll try to point those moments out. Later, after you've gotten good at doing the vibrato, then make a kind of a challenge to not play any open strings and have fourth finger step up to the plate and do even a wiggle or two. At first, when you're first developing fourth finger vibrato, it's very can be frustrating and unsatisfying to use fourth finger vibrato because it's not as fat and round and juicy as the other three fingers. It's just a physical thing. But the more you learn and develop to use fourth finger and to compensate for that lack of length and learn to get off the bony tip maybe and a little bit more onto the finger pad, then fourth finger starts sounding like a regular finger, and it can be developed to where someone could close their eyes and they would not be able to tell that you are using a fourth finger vibrato instead of one of your other fingers. Last bit of advice before I give you this handful of songs is when you're first applying your new vibrato to songs, make your vibrato robotic. Yes, I said robotic, and that seems like the antithesis of music. But if you turn your vibrato loose and unleash it completely right out of the gate, you're going to start trying to do it too fast because that's what you hear, that's what you see, that's how you perceive it. And you'll just want to do that awesome fast vibrato that you see. And then that kind of ruins the nice work of controlling your vibrato that you've done. So make it robotic and mechanical, and don't try to do it too fast. So take the first song that I'm going to show you as an example. That's the French folk song. Most of us have heard it in our lives. It's great because it repeats the same note 3 times in a row on each finger and goes down a simple scale. I like to start third finger on the A string, so start on the D. Now, a beginner or someone who's just unleashing their vibrato, they're going to go, and they're just going to try to go just too fast. If you'll use a little restraint and make it a little less satisfying and a little slower, a little more mechanical, you'll be able to maintain control, and then later you can add a little bit more speed and a little bit more spontaneity. But I highly recommend that you just keep the lid on it for a little bit, keep pulling on the reins, and don't let it go full speed. And do it on every finger. Open A is fine. Now we don't get to repeat every note 3 times. It changes. the best song I know for first using your vibrato. The next song would be Mary Had a Little Lamb. And it's just great starting on like a C sharp. Use 4 or open, either one. As fast or as slow as you like. I like having my students start slow, like really slow, because it takes all the panic and all the tension out of the vibrato. And as they gain more control, then I let them go a little bit faster, and then they're able to put a few wiggles on every note. Even if they go, Mary had a... At first, I don't have them do that rhythm. I have them go, Mary had a... Just so that you don't have any real fast notes. Personal preference, feel free to do it both ways or your favorite way. And that's just one string. You can do that on the E string. You can do it on the D string. And on the G string. It's the same fingers. The next song is very similar to Mary Had a Little Lamb, except you get to use third finger in this song. It's Go Tell Aunt Rhody. And before I forget, I want to mention, you can do all of these easy songs in different keys to force yourself to use different finger placements. You can even play them in different positions, but you won't have any open strings if you're up in a higher position. And you also have to have the ear and the skill to be able to pick a starting note and then play the song in a totally different key. But that's great for your ear, and I highly, highly recommend it. But for now, you can just start on the starting notes I'm giving you, and that'll give your vibrato a really nice start. So Go Tell Aunt Rhody starts on C sharp on the A string. Fourth finger if you like. That's the A part. Then it goes... Open E is fine. Slow vibrato. You can start that on the D string. You can start it on the G string. And I highly recommend that you do these songs on as many strings as possible because it develops your vibrato under slightly different circumstances and different angles. It's very good for you. Finally, I could throw out Ashokan Farewell, Oh Danny Boy, or any waltz you know that has long notes in it would be fine, and play the waltz and just give a nice controlled vibrato on every long note you come to. You're not expected to be able to vibrate all the fast notes yet. So just work on every time you come to a long note, throw a vibrato in there. So pick your favorite waltz and try it. After you've done French folk song, Mary Had a Little Lamb, Go Tell Aunt Rhody, and Home on the Range, oh, give me a home. That's good because it's starting to get into faster notes. If you start on open D, this one's harder. then the chorus. So if you look for sheet music for that, that's Home on the Range in the key of D. Sorry, in the key of G. It started on open D, but you're in the key of G. Okay, that's optional. It's a harder tune, and if it's easy for you, include it. If it's really hard, there's plenty of other songs to use. I do want to show you Danny Boy, because it's one of my favorite ones that I use with my students. I like to start on F sharp. Or fourth finger. Sorry. Keep your rhythms simple. Of course, Danny Boy has more complex rhythms in it than that, but we're trying to just keep it simple and longish notes, not a lot of fast notes. I love Danny Boy because it uses all four fingers very equally, and a lot of skipping. So you've got random fingers needing to jump and land and vibrate. So Danny Boy is a more advanced application. So I would do it last. All right, so as tempting as it is to write this music out for you and give it to you, I want to challenge you to exercise your ear training and memorization skills and figure it out by ear. You'll double your value. You'll be working on vibrato, and you'll also be nailing that elusive skill of playing by ear and memorization, because playing by ear and memorizing are inseparable. They're practically the same skill. All right, this was fun. I hope that you get some good use out of this. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.